Hey there, Cancer. Thank you for checking out this video. This is your reading for the week of July 20th. And your message is very interesting. It's pretty much the same as, very similar message. I wouldn't say the same. It's not exactly the same, but, you've been kind of getting stronger. I think that's your main message. I think over the past few months, Cancer has been developing into a much stronger person. I think that's what it boils down to. You have the King of Spades coming up with the Eight of Spades. I'm going to talk about them separately, but they kind of came out together, and I felt like the message was together anyway. So, the King of Spades, which I think you've had in the past, and I've talked about this, it's a card of having been through a bunch of battles and gaining a bunch of medals. You can see how many medals he has in his chest, but it's more than medals. It's like a bunch of tools, and you have another message here that represents using tools that you have developed over the years. But this is a card of somebody who's been through a bunch of difficulties, a bunch of difficult times and challenges, and having finally gained a level of stability and success. Maybe even people noticing you, like getting awards and things like that, gaining achievements. It's all about achievement and being successful. That's what the card represents. And I think you will carry that energy through. It happened, your August energy was exactly the same. So, it's going to carry on this energy of strengthening, becoming stronger, becoming a totally different person in a very positive way. I will say that it's a positive way. Next, you have the Eight of Spades, which came up with the King of Spades. And I think this card just warns you against like temptation. It's like maybe you this week you'll gain like a bunch of money or something, or you'll maybe your ego will be blown up a little bit, which is nothing negative. There's nothing negative there. If somebody tells you how great you are or something like that, this card just says don't be tempted to get cocky, or don't be tempted if you get a bunch of money this week, if you get an award or something like that and you gain a bunch of money. It just says, to not even limit yourself. It's okay to like spoil yourself, but this card just says, just make sure you're not, you don't overspend or anything crazy like that, or that you don't do anything, too outrageous with your winnings. It's like maybe just try to keep some of it and things like that. Next, you have the Jack of Clubs, which the Jack of Clubs is interesting because the Jack of Clubs is one of the few cards that actually represents using the tools that you already have for even more success. And like I said, you gain those tools with the karma and learning the lessons of the King of Spades. And this card, the Jack of Clubs, represents using those tools for even more success. That's what he literally represents. And the thing about the Jack of Clubs is he represents that I think you will be having a more fun week this week, a little bit more fun, maybe being able to go out and even going to parties and all this other stuff. I think you have a lot of people coming into your life. I think I said that to you in the past as well. But, Jack of Clubs is all about having fun. Jacks are all about, fun and just laughing and being able to just kind of like take the load off. Maybe if you've been working extra hard, you'll be able to enjoy some things with people. So, that's a good card. Next, you have the Seven of Spades coming in. It's an interesting card because it usually typically represents obstacles coming from inside of you, from yourself. And it's the other thing that it can represent is, it can represent the things that we tell ourselves in our heads that are obstacles, if that makes sense. Like, most of it's such a hard card to describe right now, and I don't know why, but, like I say, the cards, they always give me kind of like different messages, similar meanings, but the message is always kind of different for, everybody, so it kind of gets a little, garbled, but, as I say, and confused, but it's kind of like, it's interesting. I read an article a while ago. I'll use this story to describe this card. I read an article a while ago that is like, our brains don't want us to do what's best for ourselves frequently. So, for example, like say, what would be best for you would be to get a new job. And that would be best for you. Our brain will be like, no, don't get a new job. And it will insert all these fears into our brains. That's what our brain does. And, this study that these scientists did basically said that our brains do that. And typically, what is best for us is truly to do what we're afraid of course. And that's what this card represents. Is That's the message I'm getting. So, it's like saying do something that you are afraid of. Don't take the advice of your brain, because your brain is wrong for the most part, especially if it's a fear. A fear is never real. I think, they always say false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. So if you are afraid of something, it's not real. And this card tells you to do it. So take advantage of that. Get over some fears this week. And then you have the 10 of clubs showing up. Very successful card. It literally brings success, business success, success, money coming in, abundance. It brings a lot of people into your life. I mean, when you get this card, you can expect some people to show up, people from the past, people helping you out, parties in general, just going to parties and going to social gatherings and, meeting up with a bunch of people. That's what this card represents. But most importantly, it represents success. And I think, it's a mental success as well. So I think if you can overcome a lot of these fears, you will have a lot of success. It will kind of push you forward. And like I said, I mean, the reading, it all comes together, because with this King of Spades, this is all about, he's overcome a million fears, he's overcome a bunch of challenges and all that other stuff, and this is what he's gained, just a bunch of harvesting things in his life. So take advantage of that energy. Enjoy the week. You're going to have an amazing week. I mean, with these two cards alone, and actually I'll add this third one in there because he's a party animal, this guy. You are going to have a great week this week, so enjoy it.